This is my book I'm working on, The Art of Improvisation. Now, many musicians can improvise, but people that are highly skilled musicians, like classical musicians, cannot improvise often. And I was in that camp, and I'm going to show you how I went through this breakthrough. Improvisation is spontaneous composition on your instrument. You want to learn how to improvise? I surely can help you with this because I was a classically trained musician and I could not improvise at all. Now I improvise better than I play music or read music. Improvising is super rewarding. It's fun, creative, and explosive. I'm going to share with you just some of the reasons of improvisation. When you play your instrument, your brain activity is explosive. When you improvise over the top of one of your favorite songs, you now put your own signature on it. You're not just playing it like a robot, like someone in a classical concert at a university. It's like, could you imagine how many, if Debussy was there, how sick he would be to hear 400 Asian women play Debussy perfectly? He would be like, oh my gosh, give me a gun. Look at the brain scans. Neurologists, you'll find out how active the brain is when you listen to music. But check this out. When you actually play the instrument, there's no other explosive brain scans that the level of brain activity is just amazing. Nothing surpasses it. The great composers, Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, they all possess fantastic improvisational skills. Probably because they were composers. I've never heard of a musician dying from Alzheimer's disease. Why? Because their brain is so active. They might die of something else. Might be poor lifestyle, this or that, but anyway, most classical musicians cannot improvise, even though they have incredible artistry. I don't want to be like that, and I didn't want to, so I went to the Grove School of Music to learn how to do both. My story, learned how to improvise, became a master improviser. I remember that I first focused on the 12 major triads, saying the notes aloud and playing them. One of the most important steps, I continued my learning of all the chord families. What do I mean by chord families? Major, minor, dominant, and diminished, in a nutshell. This is where real progress was made. The change from sounding like an exercise to music. My teacher, which was a graduate from Juilliard, a great lesson. I was learning my first Chopin etude, the famous Revolutionary etude. This transformation, my teacher, over the entire scale, what he did is he wrote out the chords throughout the entire score with me together. This was probably my best piano lesson ever. In fact, it was. I know it was. Here's an important point. The magic happened the second time we did this. This was when Opus 10, number 1, Chopin Etude. This is why it was so important. 3 reasons. This time I fell in love with the chords used by Chopin. They were gorgeous. The harmony chords, voicing used in this, is a masterpiece. Opus 10, number 1. Chopin dedicated this etude to his mother, Franz Liszt. You think he's going to do that to anybody? Heck no. This was a profound agreement on the chords and harmony of this etude. If Chopin dedicated this etude to Franz Liszt's mother, because this is a masterpiece of harmony, and Chopin was not a person that bragged. It's 40 years later. I still use this etude for study and improvisation because it is such a masterpiece. I've improvised over these chords hundreds of times, so it never gets old. One piece, 100 lessons. So I highly recommend you find some piece of music, something with chords you love. This worked very well for me. Start simple. It could be just 3 chords you love from a simple pop tune. When you improvise, become aware of this question. Am I playing in time or rubato? Playing time versus rubato. Time is king. You must master time. You must be able to play with a metronome and play with perfect time with other musicians. Strict time. Now, rubato is when you can move the time back and forth and you're in king. And that is awesome. I love playing in rubato with awesome vocalists, female vocalists especially. Great time. How do we achieve this? Well, start with a metronome or a drum machine. Have other trusted musicians check you out, just, by clapping. Okay, is this guy playing in time? My favorite pianist in the state of Oregon, Randy Porter, he checked out my time once and he said just like, clap for like a minute straight. And he said, stop. And I said, how do I do? He said, you're right on the money. And that's what you want to hear. Don't practice mistakes. Okay, so my book, it's in the works. Thank you. God bless you. I love you.